Uh, wildest place you've done the deed.
In a library.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Why?
Where is it?
Well, no. We gotta we gotta dig into this. Name's Aaron Hinton. I'm 27 and I'm a software engineer.
Hi, my name is Nikki. I'm 25 and I'm a field artillery officer in the Army.
Brief summary of my dating history. I lived in Hawaii for 3 years prior to this. Probably went on 10 dates and then moved to Denver in January. Probably been on 5.
I had 3 long-term relationships from when I was 18 to 24. And now I'm 25 and I'm single. So I tend to fall in love.
All right. Hi, my name's Aaron.
Hi, I'm Nikki.
We're on a first date.
We are.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
I think we should probably just dive into the questions.
Perfect.
I got one ready to go if you are.
Okay.
Yeah?
I wonder what it could be.
Super anxious to hear this one. When's the last time you got kicked out of a bar?
Oh, actually, that's not what I thought you were going to ask. I fear... Wait, what was it? I think we were in my... Oh my gosh. I'm this up. I actually don't think we've ever been kicked out of a bar.
That's rare.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're just always on top of it and like on our best behavior.
That's pretty good.
When was the last time you got kicked out of a bar?
It's a good question. December 16th of 2024. Yeah. We were actually out at a bar in Hawaii, and we were wearing Santa hats. And we were out a little early, and I guess we got a little too tipsy, and we started slapping each other at the bar, and they didn't like that, so obviously they kicked us out. But we're in Santa hats, so we went down to the bottom, they kicked us out, and we took the Santa hats off, and we're like, they won't know who we are. So we got back in line, and sure enough, they didn't know who we were, so we got right back in line, got allowed back into the bar, and went right back at it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
That's like really smart of you.
Well, they found us eventually later, so
Yeah.
it didn't exactly work out. But that's the last time. Nothing gruesome or like bad, but yeah, we were just getting a little too
just
rowdy.
like having fun.
Yeah.
They shouldn't kick you out for that.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
So that's really fun. How would your ex describe you?
Oof, that's a good one. Which one?
The second one.
The second one? Okay, let me think. All right, the second one would probably... yeah, she'd probably think I'm not ready for a relationship, which granted was probably true 100%. I think I jumped in a little too soon, and I don't want to say peer pressured into it, but I was pressured into the relationship for sure. So I think she would probably describe me as not ready for one, which, again, 100% agree. What about you?
I feel like there's never actually being ready for a relationship. Yeah, because you're always working on yourself constantly, no matter if you're like 20 or 50. So I think it's just somebody who's willing to grow with you. But obviously, nothing that's meant for you will come to an end. So it's just lessons to learn from. But what was the question?
How would an ex describe you?
I think that they would say I'm really passionate and loyal. I actually don't think I've never had a bad experience, like a bad dating experience with an ex. So every one of my relationships has been really good. They just all came to their natural ends. And I agree with every end. So I don't know. They would probably say that I was really passionate and loyal. I gave it 100%. And then, yeah.
That's good. It sounds like none of
We
them
had fun.
ended on like a poor note.
None of them, I'm really lucky about that. None of them ended on a poor note. So
That's huge.
Have you ever been cheated on?
No, actually I haven't. I guess might be spilling too much too quick, but all of my relationships have lasted less than 3 months. So I feel like probably not enough time to have been cheated on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, haven't been cheated on, luckily. I know a lot of friends that have, and that's like a huge insecurity that they have. But I guess fortunately I haven't been on.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I haven't. I think they know better. But also, I think I have really good intuition. So I just wouldn't date somebody who would probably cheat on me.
So then what do you look for when you date someone? Like, what makes you?
So I'm never going to go into it with 100% like oh my gosh, I'm trying to get married. I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. I think I just want to have fun, because like being in love, it's literally like, it's just a feeling like you're relaxed. You're just like having fun, and that spark never has to die. It really doesn't. So
How many times have you had that?
I don't know what's wrong with me, but 3 times. I've been in love 3 times. I'm 25. So I don't know if that's like a green flag or a red flag.
I feel like that's good. You're willing to love.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
I'm willing to go 100%
says something.
into it all the time, because like if you don't, then God forbid a woman gives it her all.
Yeah, that's the worst thing a man could imagine.
So yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Back to the questions.
Yeah.
Maybe ask him
Shoot,
why his
whatever you
relationships only lasted 3 months.
No, we don't
Oh,
have to ask
wait.
that.
That is a great
That one
question.
just flew by
Serious,
everybody's
yeah.
head. So
So, why did your relationships last 3 months?
That's a good question. I think if I look at it like taking responsibility, I think a lot of them I was like the second to last one that you asked about. I was pressured into it. So I kind of was, I don't want to say forced, but like it was like either we're doing this or we're not. And I was like, yeah, we're doing it. And then 3 months is about the time I feel like you get to actually know someone. Not to say that when I met all of them at 3 months, I was like, no way. But that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
What's that saying? It's like if you get on a train and it's going the wrong way, the longer you stay on it, the more expensive the ticket's going to be. When
100%.
So you're just saving time. You're efficient.
Yeah. I know what I want. I feel like,
Yeah.
100%. So
Love that.
I saw there was no future there. So I kind of like jumped ship, not to be a jerk, but like, I was like, I don't want to waste either of our time.
It's important to trust your instinct.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah.
So you can tell yourself. You probably have really strong intuition.
I do.
hey, could you guys ask that last one?
Which one? Oh, thanks. Thank you very much for that. I'll ask first. So respectfully, when's the last time you pooped yourself? No judgment here.
I'm a long distance runner. I run like
So often.
50 miles a week.
I respect that.
And
No, it's fine.
quite, it's unpredictable. You're 40 minutes into a run, you never know, and then you gotta go.
I can tell you a very embarrassing story. So I was like probably 14, and I was playing a soccer game, and in the middle of the game, I went to the coach. I was like, bro, take me off. I was like, I gotta go. So he took me off, and I sprinted to the bathroom. Obviously didn't make it. So that's the last time. Ran into the woods. My mom had to come and find me. She got super concerned, like medically. She thought something was wrong with me. She's like, he's incontinent or whatever the word is for that. Took me to the doctors, and the doctor was like, in a storm, any port will do. And I was like, word, I will take that to my grave. But yeah, that's the last time when I was about 14.
14.
I fear that day. I pray it never comes.
Dating is hard. Golly, dating is hard out there. You know that moment when you realize you've dated the same man, just with a different face? Can't see me. That was the turning point for so many of the women who've worked with Kale from the Dating Collective. If you don't know who Kale is, we did an episode with him. Go check out one of our episodes that has Kale's name on it. A lot of good stuff. Anyway, he has an 8-week program, the Secure Love Blueprint. It's designed to help you stop repeating old patterns. We're gonna get out of those patterns. We're gonna start attracting the kind of love that feels safe, consistent, and actually goes somewhere. Podcast listeners, are you listening to this right now? Then that's you, you're a podcast listener. You get 15% off with the code TABLE15. I'm at a table, table15. Just use the link in the description below when you book a free call. If you're tired of almost and what ifs, this might be your next step.
Have you ever been in love, and why didn't it work?
So yeah, I actually don't know. I mean, I think I've been in love 3 times, and everything just comes to its natural end. You know, you can't force love, and you can't force when you fall out of it. So it's like just if you really like cake, then you just like fall in love with different flavors. Cake, like why would you just have like a cheesecake for the rest of your life? Though that is what I want eventually.
So
I'm not mad about it. You can start coughing.
What's your flavor, I guess, then, is the question.
Like my favorite flavor of cake? A cheesecake.
Well,
Did I not just say that?
We'll go with that, but then for men, I don't know. What's your men taste? I don't know. The cake equivalent of men.
What's my taste in men?
Yeah, sure. That's a good way.
I like somebody who is really funny. Like,
Okay.
I love to giggle, and that's actually so much more valuable than any type of physical attribute or other, like, just attribute that they have. So somebody that's really funny. Okay, you asked me like 5 questions.
Yep, okay.
So how many times have you been in love? What's your humor style? What's your taste in women?
Okay, we'll go one by one. So love, I've actually never told a girl or a woman I'm in love with them, except my mom. I love her. Yeah, great woman. Shout out to mom if she's listening. I hope not. But I love my mom. No one else, because I feel I haven't made it past the 3-month mark. So I don't know. I know what love is, but I feel like I haven't experienced that. What's the second question?
What was this? Oh, your humor style.
Oh, humor style. Oh, for sure, slapstick. So like anything dumb, someone getting slapped or like hit or like physical. Like you ever seen Pink Panther? 1 and 2, like with
Yeah.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Those are far and away my favorite.
Oh,
probably.
yeah.
Or like The Office. I don't know. Really just
yeah.
dry, stupid humor. I love that. But a big humor guy. And what was the third one?
The third one. Wow, you're really touching on over here.
Tasty men, you said.
Oh yeah, what
My
is your
taste in
taste
men.
in men?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That guy is an absolute beefcake, and I pray he listens to this, and I'll look into the camera for this. I want to meet you, but no.
You want to eat him?
Meat.
Oh, sorry.
Meat.
Okay, sorry.
He does
I
have a
heard
lot of
eat.
meat on him, but I do not want to eat him.
I would eat him.
I would. Hey, I mean, no, as a straight man, that dude's good looking and huge, but yeah, that's my taste in men.
So glad we cleared that up. So I was dying to know.
I also like them funny. If they can make me laugh before I get in bed. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Very
Butter
strict.
you up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I think
butter me up before I get in. Yeah. For women though, my taste in women, I think humor is a big one. Honestly, I like someone who doesn't take anything too seriously. So even in like the worst of scenarios, if they can look at you and go, "Well, this is pretty fucking stupid," I'm like, "Yeah, it is." Like that's the best thing to me, like that connection. And everything else is like secondary. Looks, smarts. Like it's good, but like
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I actually do care about somebody's intellect a lot. Next to the humor, I actually do think you have to be really smart to be funny as well.
What's your baseline?
What kind of baseline? Like IQ?
No. That's a good question.
Like a bare minimum?
What do you think's smart and what do you think's not smart?
So just common sense.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I also like somebody who's ambitious and passionate about their job and what they do, and they have a plan, and I think that just indicates that they're pretty smart. Yeah.
So have you ever been attracted to someone and they don't meet those like requirements?
No.
No.
Also, like, I think if you can speak about traveling and art and music and you've experienced those, like, that's a big part of your life, that also makes you smarter.
How do you like, I don't want to say vet people, but like if a guy approaches you at the bar and you're like, he's attractive, but I want to get him to know him better, like, what do you ask him?
Probably, I don't know, I'll just let the conversation go naturally and then I follow my instinct and I'm like, should I continue this and like make it deeper or not?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'm not really trying to like meet people at bars. I'm usually
That's
just
fair.
there with my friends. But, yeah. What's your biggest ick?
Oh, okay, I got 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 1, I think talking through any sort of movie or like show or like like musical or whatever, I dislike that. It's a big ick. And the second one's I don't want to say unsportsmanlike, but like if they're bad at sports, okay, that sounds bad, but if they're I like them athletic.
Uncoordinated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coordinated. So if they're
Yeah.
uncoordinated, like that's an indication about unathletic, probably not a healthy lifestyle, and maybe I'm thinking too far about that. But I like athletic, and if they're unathletic, it's for sure an ick. But I feel like that's a pretty low.
No, I think
Hopefully.
that's like a pretty good standard.
Yeah.
I mean, it says a lot about somebody if they work out and they take care of their body
Oh, yeah,
and they watch what they
100%.
eat. So that's like somebody that you could see longevity with, and so.
What's
yeah.
your biggest ick?
My biggest ick is when it like specifically. Oh yeah, like in a man, I guess, because that's who I'm dating.
Or women.
Well, just like in people in general. No, in a man, I hate when they're undecisive. I love a man with a plan. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but literally, I love when someone has it planned out from the beginning to the end. They just tell me what the vibe is. They pick me up. We go. I'm relaxed, and they just take the reins. They drive the car.
So what's your dream date?
Literally, it could be anything. It could be bowling. It could be snorkeling. It could be going on a run. It could be getting wined and dined or going to the movies. Literally, I just need it to be planned out perfectly from the beginning to the end. And it's literally like, I'm picking up at this time. Everything's taken care of. Just like, let's go. Let's bring the good vibes. And then we just have fun.
So if he can plan, he's
yes.
good.
And they're not like, what are you feeling for dinner? I'm like, I don't make decisions here.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
indecisive.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Okay, I got another question. Oh, this one's deep. What did you learn from your last relationship that you will implement in future ones?
Oh, I learned that I learned that I don't need to be like, I need to trust my instinct from the beginning. Like when things do start coming to a natural end and you're in a relationship and you just don't want to like acknowledge that, you just need to trust your instinct and just go with it and just end it when it needs to end.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm actually so thankful because after every relationship, actually just literally anything at all, I love to self-reflect. And I honestly think I'm a completely different person than I was when I was dating that person, even though like it wasn't anything that bad. But it wasn't bad at all, actually. But that's just like a good way to develop yourself.
For sure.
Just like be better for the next person. So what about you?
That's a good one. Didn't expect it on the return. It's a rookie mistake.
Those are the instructions.
Yeah, rookie mistake. I guess, yeah, it took 5 times, but I think not to be, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse and I'm sorry, but like it took me a long time to learn is like not jump into a relationship that I don't necessarily want, even though they were pushing for it.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible to say out loud. And I feel bad for anyone who's watching it.
It sounded terrible.
They dated me. I'm going to get some hate mail.
Nah, it was good.
But yeah,
That's
I
fine.
jumped into I think all of the relationships too fast. And I probably should have taken some time to acknowledge if I wanted it or not. And that takes about 3 months, I learned. So I learned that's my that's my benchmark. If I actually want into this, it's 3 months and then yes. Pretty much.
Miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you
Michael
jumped
Scott,
into it,
yeah.
and if it was gonna work, then
That's true.
it would have worked. But you wouldn't have known that if you didn't jump into it. So I actually disagree with you on that.
Really?
You just dive into it. Well, obviously not like, oh, I met this guy like immediately, let's date. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with like going 100% in. And
What was the quickest you ever like jumped in?
I would say like, I'd say like 4 months.
That's not that
Yeah.
long. Or that is that, well, for me, that's
Like
long.
if I meet the person and then there's obviously that spark and that chemistry in the beginning, and then just you hang out with them every day and you learn more about them and you're like, yeah, I could date this person. And then, you start dating them. So yeah, like maybe if you would have just stuck it to 4 months.
I would have found out.
I don't know. Everybody's different.
Do you have like a checklist?
I don't. I just go off vibes, 100%. Like I don't know what I don't know. I'm not gonna make a checklist. What if it's not right? If something feels right, I'm gonna go for it. And then when it stops to feel right, I'm okay. It's time to go.
So what if like I feel like in every relationship there comes a time where like you have hurdles or whatever. Would that qualify as a tough time, or would you
That's just like a part of that's a part of friendships. Like we've had hurdles. God forbid we got hurdles. We tried renting a car in Puerto Rico. That really put us to the test. Yeah, you're a real one for that one. But no, everything, like I've hurdles with my mom, you know, everybody. So that's just something you go through. It's just a regular part. I wouldn't say that I'm not going to end a friendship over like some little disagreement. So I'm not going to end a relationship over that. Unless it's like, you know, the big ones. Like if they're really just, they're not morally right.
Ooh,
Like
what's
the big,
your
like,
big like moral, like what do they gotta?
I don't know. Like there's right and there's wrong. I'm a Christian. So you know, not that religion, I actually don't care what their religion is, but be a good person. I think that every single religion and belief has the same premises. Just like be a good person, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, and karma. Every single one believes in karma. So, and if they're not aligned with that, then they're not gonna make me a better person. Why would I hang out with them?
Not totally fair. Yeah. What are the 3 things you love about yourself?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thank you. I came up with it.
It's a really deep one. The 3 things I love about myself. I'm big into affirmation, so I really try to only say like words of love to myself. But I really think that I'm pretty artistic, like I've always been, and I love to feel emotions. I took a responsible driving course because I got a ticket. And they actually made us take like a personality test, and I was a blue personality. And apparently that's like the same as Mother Teresa and Gandhi. I'm sure everyone has like some good person that was like their personality, but basically they carried the weight of the world on their shoulders and they feel emotions. And so if I'm really happy, I'm going to cry. I've literally cried on runs before because I'm just like, wow, I'm so blessed. Like the sun is shining, the mountain's right there. I'm listening to this beat drop and I can run. I'm so blessed. And I just start crying from happiness. And then, like we were talking about, like you're on your skill bridge. When I left base in the uniform for the last time, even though I'm still in, like I cried because I was like, this is like so emotional. Like I do love that about me. I never want that to go away because I do like to feel every emotion. And that's just like what living is, like honestly, just like feeling things. And then, so that I love about myself. I'm sure I sound a little crazy to people sometimes, but I do love that. And then I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So I think that I'd never judge anybody for anything. Like, why would I judge you? Like if I got judged for every horrible thing or I've said or done, or like every time I messed up, like I wouldn't have any friends. Yeah. And so I really try not to judge anybody. And then, what about you?
The top 3 things I love about myself. 1, I think I'm the friend that's always down for anything. So no matter who hits me up, if they're like, hey, are you free? And if I'm free, like if it's the worst thing I imagine on the world, like I'm down. Like if a friend's doing it, for sure. It's a good story or it's fun or whatever. Yeah. So I'm down for anything. 2, the second thing, I think I have a very, clear mindset. So I trust if I have a gut feeling, it's probably the right feeling. So I believe in that a lot. So I guess my gut feeling would be the second thing I love about myself. That's conceited.
No, it's not.
And then the third thing I love about myself, I think my taste in music. I always love finding music, and I love music. So people that like bring me new music, or someone introduces me to someone else, music is one of the my favorite things in my life. So people bring that, it just enhances life. I feel like it's one of those arts that just makes things better, like dates, sunsets, sunrises, surfing, like hiking, anything. It enhances it.
Yeah, 100%. Like a little soundtrack.
Yeah, a little soundtrack to your life, even if it's like a life no one's gonna see.
I respect that. Yeah. Those are good answers.
Yeah, thanks.
Good job.
All right, hey, lady and gentlemen, we're gonna switch to the dessert section.
Wildest place you've done the deed?
In a library.
That is pretty good. Why?
Where is it?
Well, no. We gotta dig into this. why and how, like the mechanism behind it. Or that sounds weird, but how?
Why and how? I don't
think
know.
I know the why.
Wow, my mom is gonna listen to this.
It's heartbreaking. Sorry.
The mechanism behind it. That's such a wow. I didn't know we were gonna
Like
get
the
into details.
bathroom, or like just the history section where no one goes, the cookbook section.
like a hidden section.
What section do you know?
It was probably like the literature section.
Yeah,
like
no
a
one
big
goes
Shakespeare
there.
nerd.
Yeah, no one goes
If you've
there.
ever read Shakespeare,
Don't know 'em.
it sets the mood.
Shakespeare does.
It really does.
Midnight Summer does it for you.
We can dive more into Shakespeare,
Yeah, okay.
which ones I do.
I'll
really
read you Shakespeare later.
We will, because I could talk about this for hours. I just don't think everyone has time for this. But yeah, probably like the literature section. I don't know, something about it being quiet, and
Gets it
you have to
going.
try to be quiet.
Did they have to keep going? Shh.
Was the library lady like looking?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's
It's pretty
discreet.
secretive.
What's a wild place? The wildest.
Well, I'm a
place-
virgin.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. A boat. Well, a canoe.
A canoe.
Yeah. Okay. So we were on a lake.
Why? How?
Well, I think the how is pretty standard across the board.
How did
But
it not fall over?
Well, we parked it, like we brought it up onto a bank, and it was secluded. And I was like, she's like, all right, fine.
All
And
right,
then,
fine.
Well, no, she was. Well, I hope. I feel like if I say she was in, yeah, I feel like she. Whatever. Yeah, we did it on a canoe on a bankment, and that was probably the wild. There was people like families scooting by
Oh
on
my
canoes and
gosh.
kayaks, and you kind of like look
That's
over and they're going
crazy.
by, but they don't know. It just
That
looks
is
like
actually
you're
pretty crazy. Wow.
unpacking a canoe, I guess, or what? Yeah, that's my story.
Wow. Good answer.
What's your most? Oh no, what's your most toxic trading or dating trait?
Going 100% into it, I guess.
So love
Maybe
bombing.
I don't love bomb. No,
But like
I do like to get love bombed.
that is
Actually,
a
that might
toxic
be
trading
it.
date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love words of affirmation. So yeah, I mean,
Ooh.
maybe loving getting love bombed, even though I know that's a really big red flag. Like I do love to hear it. I'm like, okay.
So what's your love? Well, I guess there's receiving and like giving, but what's your love languages?
I think it's words of affirmation and what's the one? Spending time, quality time.
Is that receiving or giving?
Receiving.
So you receive words of affirmation, quality
And quality time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then giving, what are they? What are the options?
It's like physical touch, gifts, quality time, words of affirmation.
Acts of service.
Acts of service. Yeah.
Probably the same. Yeah, quality time.
For giving and receiving.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about you?
Can you guess?
Okay. What were they again?
Okay. Physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, and acts of service.
I think physical touch.
Yeah, that's my number one. Yeah. I'm a big hugger.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hugs are important. What's your most toxic dating trait?
That's a good one. I know why you would never expect the same question to be asked back to you, but I didn't expect that.
It's only
My
the fifth
most-
time I've
Yeah, I know.
asked you a question back. So
My most toxic dating trait. I guess the pickleball thing might be pretty toxic. So the backstory to that is I have a couple friend that are disturbingly good at pickleball, and we've played them time and time again in Hawaii, and we've lost time and time again. And I don't know if I'm looking for like the one in the sense of like I love them, but also they're the one who can bring us to the next level pickleball wise to beat the shit out of those people. But pickleball is actually it's a big
deal breaker.
It's close. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like a necessarily 100% deal breaker, but it's like 90%. I guess also my fear of commitment, but
That was great. That was funny. Yeah, there it is.
there it is.
I thought you were sidestepping, and then you came back around with the
I'm
truth.
pretty honest, I feel like.
Pickleball.
And then fear of commitment. I don't know if it's a fear, but it's a lack of, I don't know. It's the 3-month mark is like my,
Yeah.
just, that's it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you, I like this one. What do you find most physically attractive about the person sitting across from you?
Okay. So my first impression of you is when I walked in and then I saw you two sitting there and you were like, so like prim and proper. And I was like,
So
oh,
pretty.
like, I wonder if that's my date. And I wouldn't be upset about it. Like, you look like you're put together. Like I was talking about earlier, I think that it's really important to take care of yourself and watch what you eat and work out. So obviously you look like you do that.
I try. Yeah.
So physically attractive. Yeah, that's it.
Physically. I keep healthy.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I try to. 100%.
What do you find most physically attractive about the person sitting across
Didn't
from you?
see this one coming. I think your smile, honestly. It kind of just relaxes. I don't know. It's very disarming, which is kind of scary, but at the same time, it's very attractive.
Thank
Like if
you.
you smile, it's just like, all right.
I had
'Cause
3
it's
years of
pretty
braces,
relaxed, yeah.
and I grew like 2 extra teeth. They had to cut
Really?
out. So
Did you
thank
take 'em
actually
out?
means so much. In fact, I'm gonna send this to my orthodontist and be like, "Hey,
It
good
worked."
work.
Yeah.
You did it."
That's pretty good.
Okay. Lights on or off?
Oh. Off?
Correct.
Correct answer. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're our first
Off.
guy that it's said off.
I gotta think about the family here because who's watching. Well, you said correct answer, so I'm assuming off. This is actually a good one. What's your biggest turn off?
Off.
I actually have a second question after this.
Okay.
But yeah.
Biggest turn off. I mean, it's probably pretty shallow, but like, oh my god, like if you don't smell good, like
Ooh.
obviously, if someone smells
BO.
bad, I'm
Yeah.
literally gonna like just walk away.
Have you ever had that?
No. I mean, like if I've been approached and the person smells bad, like I'm not gonna entertain that. That's a big one. What about you?
Smell
Smell me.
I'm kidding.
My biggest turn off. I feel like when they're impolite to people around them. So like
that's
if
a
you
big
saw Joe and you're like, fuck you, man. I'd be like, that's pretty bad. Or like if you want to drink, like I don't drink that. Like that's pretty bad. But if you're pretty cool, like to your wait staff or people, that's a low bar, I feel like. But there's a lot of people that are not cool. And I actually have some stories about that. But
I have another one.
Go for
That's
it.
a valid one.
Go,
Also,
go
yeah,
for
like
it.
do not be rude to people, especially waiters. That's such a big turn off.
Yeah.
I don't think I've like been around somebody who's done that, but oh my god, I would literally apologize, pay for the bill, and leave, and never talk to them again.
What is one sexual deal breaker in or out of the bedroom? Oh.
My mom is watching this,
Yep.
but I don't know if you can't make me come.
No, that's fair. You
Bye.
have no business being in the room
Like,
if you.
How do you make a girl come?
Step one. The clitoris, I believe, is the objective.
What is that?
If you have a whiteboard, I could show it to you, but I believe it's somewhere in the crescendo of the.
All right, fourth one down from the top.
Would past partners say you're good in bed?
Yeah. I give it 100% every time.
That's all a guy can ask.
God forbid a woman gives it her all. Rebecca, you can start coughing. It's time for me to shut up. Okay, that was our deal.
No. This is good.
I feel like you dodged both of those questions. So
I've just been asking them.
yeah, what would past partners say, or would they say you are good in bed?
Yeah.
What was the
I love the
pause?
confidence.
You paused a bit.
Pause was hope. I didn't take an exit survey, but if I did, I think the summary would be as good as I am at surfing, which is aggressively average.
Yeah, same, buddy.
Hey, I don't like to overshoot and I don't like to undershoot. You know, you set expectations. You're gonna be okay. You can. The second question. What? No, I guess the first question. Sexual deal breaker. I got that one locked and loaded. It's fingers in the butt.
That sounds like somebody who's never tried it before.
Tried it and did not like it.
Oh, okay.
You try everything once.
Guess I'm
For
the weird
me.
one here.
I want to make that clear. God, I hope my mom does this.
Yeah, I don't know. We can wrap up with that. Get into the exit interviews.
Good
But
golly, that was great.
That was
Folks,
good. That was
thank
I
you
felt
for coming
fantastic.
on. I
Yeah.
feel like the chemistry was brewing here. You know, something
Yeah,
was
it really
going
was.
on.
You're the
Something's
professionals.
going
You
on.
would know.
There's love in the air, and we're definitely not professionals. You know, we just ask other people their opinions, but our lives are messes. So, yeah, fantastic.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
thank you guys for coming on, and we'll get to some exit interviews real quick.
Alrighty.
Great.
Yes. Love is in the air.
Love's in the air. Yeah, no, I mean, I had fun. I liked her. I like this environment. I think this is probably a really good like atmosphere to meet other people on a blind date. Nothing like breeds like, I don't know, togetherness rather than being thrown in the midst of being recorded while you're on a date. So I think it's super cool what you guys are doing. Yeah.
I think it went well. It was a fun, natural conversation. Yeah.
My attraction level to Nikki's about the same. Probably a 6 to a 7 to an 8. It's, again, I feel like I didn't get the whole picture. So there would for sure have to be a second date before I could give you like a solid number. But a positive number is what I would say.
I would say there's so much more to learn. I'll give it an 8. Did he give me lower? No. Okay, I gave him a 6.
No, you didn't. No. I can't tell you these things.
Like my basic reaction, back to a 6.
No.
Make it a 5.
Yeah, I could see myself going out on a second date if she was into it. But if she wasn't, then I could, like, there's no hard feelings, obviously. Would be okay, but it's something that's worth exploring, I feel like, for sure. She's cool enough, but if we're both kind of just meh, then, like, there's no point. Like, there has to be some sort of, like, spark or connection right away, I feel like she was reserved. So I do feel like it's a little meh. If she came out all that she was, like if she shit herself in the past month, I'd be like, okay, I could work with that. But but if not, you know.
I could see myself going on a second date with Aaron. There's like a lot more conversation to be had, or that would be fun to have. So yeah.